if you go to any of these Muslim countries, right, you can practice in peace, right? You can practice Christianity or your religions in peace, except for, I don't think paganism is allowed in any of the Muslim countries. That's a problem. But if you're a Jew or if you're a Christian, whatever, you can practice. But like, you can't like assert that religion openly, like praying on the streets or doing anything like that in a Muslim country.
You could pray in the streets in a Muslim country.
In huge groups?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, bro. No.
That's not happening. There's no example of that happening.
That's
of Christians not praying on the street.
But why do they not do it?
Because Christians don't pray on the street.
No, but if they did, why don't they do it then?
I don't know, it's just not.
Why don't they record themselves doing it openly in these Sharia law countries?
That's not Christian practice.
Because they respect the country. They respect the host nation.
But
I'm saying that as Muslims, we should do the same. Like, this is not our country. We did not found this country.
But look,
so
all different religions that people pray.
We got mosques. We could pray at home. Like, my issue isn't with praying. My issue is with openly praying and disrupting others. Okay. If you're openly praying and you're not disrupting anybody, I don't care. Like some dude in Dallas.
I was in Times Square. We weren't disrupting anybody. I was there on the front line. I made a whole vlog. We could watch it.
Yeah, bro.
There was no nobody was disrupted.
Here's the thing.
Not one person there complaining.
I guarantee you that, of course, they're not going to complain because they don't want to be labeled bigots. But in New York City, where they're cucked, the reality is people probably wanted to go there. I guarantee you there are hundreds, if not thousands, of people that went there and were like, yo, I want to take pictures of Times Square, and they're like, oh, these guys are praying. No, I can't go in now.
It was the section right in front of the stairs. It wasn't blocking the sidewalk. There's an open walking area, and it was that section. It was really cold that day.
Of course.
And we said and the people were still like Times Square wasn't shut down.
No, of course
it wasn't illegal. Like it wasn't like we had the cops or anything. We just all gathered there and prayed.
Here's the thing, man. Like praying in a symbolic Western location that's a tourist destination.
What about like Chinese festivals?
And disrupting.
That's a public display of their culture.
Yeah, well,
I hear what about?
I'm not a fan, dude. Honestly, I don't think we should have any of these fucking parades.
You shouldn't have parades.
I don't think we should have cultural parades.
No. There was just a Yom Kippur celebration in New York. They
get the niggas out of here.
It's not going to happen, bro. Like, New York is a very diverse place.
Here's the thing. I don't think we should be running any other flags. I don't think we should be doing any of these parades of where these niggas come from. I don't think we should be doing any of that, personally. I think it should be straight American nationalism, American flags only, no other flags. I don't think people should be openly practicing their religion, and I reserve Christians to be able to practice their religion.
Why not share the same hour? Like there was the Dominican Day Parade was last month. I went there, did a stream.
Yeah, get them niggas out of here.
And people waving it's like a big festival. It's like a big celebration in New York.
No, I'm not.
I didn't see a big outrage about that. I don't see anyone.
Oh, dude, I've shit on these parades and shit all the time, bro. Like I am not a fan of like any of these Puerto Rican Day Parade. I've made jokes on that shit because they're fucking Americans. What the fuck are they doing? Nobody cares about reggaeton. Doom. Like, and this is kind of where.
So is that them asserting dominance?
To a degree, yeah, for sure.
So it's the same thing.
Yes. That is a form of them asserting dominance to a degree, and I'm not a fan of it. Like I think we need to go back to a hardcore nationalism, America only, one flag policy, none of this bullshit.
One flag policy?
Yeah, like one flag, America flag.
What about freedom of speech? That doesn't make sense. Like there's freedom of expression is the core tenet of being an American.
Of course. But I think having parades is not. Nah.
Parades is part of speech.
It is a part of speech, but I don't think, look, you should be able to freely express yourself to a degree, but when we're sanctioning...
To a degree?
To a degree, yes.
So what's the degree?
The degree is, once it starts to interfere with American nationalism, I think that's when you start running into problems, because
we have no more free speech.
We don't have, no, we have free speech, but...
You saying we shouldn't?
No, I'm saying we have free speech, but obviously there's always limits on free speech, right? Like, for example, you can't run into a theater and say, well, that's free speech absolutism. You can't run into a theater and say, fire, that's free speech absolutism, right? I would say we want to have free speech.
Incitement of violence.
Maximalism.
Maximalism. Incitement of violence, I think, is a fair thing to exclude from that. But parades aren't incitement of violence. It's a celebration.
It's an incitement to nationalism of another country that, quite frankly,
and that's against free speech.
I'm not going to say it's against free speech. I think you should be able to do it to a degree. But once you're shutting off streets, right? When
we were praying at Times Square, we didn't shut off the street.
Bruh,
the streets are still open.
You're impeding people.
Nobody was impeded.
They can't walk in front of you when you pray. You and I know that. You can't walk in front of them.
Yeah, in that area in front of the stairs. They could walk in front, like on the other street across the street.
Why did y'all pray like somewhere else, not in Times Square?
We wouldn't have fit. This is for everybody.
Why not pray in a mosque? There's plenty of mosques in New York City, all over the place.
This is for Times Square for everybody to come together from all over the city. They all came there. We wouldn't have fit in a mosque. There was too many people.
Bro, pray in a mosque. Like pray in a mosque.
We wouldn't be able to fit.
I truly do think we need to bring patriotism back. We need to bring back nationalism back. And
what else is happening in Times Square? See, you're upset about like praying in public. What else is happening in Times Square at the time? Like Mickey Mouse, Elmo, drug deals, fights.
Yeah, of course.
Peanuts. Like it's just stupid shit. Like rappers selling CDs. It's not like the alternative to what else is happening in Times Square besides praying is like. Okay, were we really interrupting anything important? No. The only thing we stopped was a couple drug deals and Elmo and gorillas.
No, man, because here's the thing. Police got to go out there.
There was no cops.
We had no cops?
Nothing. It was just us, completely organized.
I still don't.
It wasn't sanctioned by the city. We just showed up.
I think, right, when you're praying and you're disrupting once your prayer and your worship starts to disrupt other people.
Drug deals in Elmo?
still disrupting. Like, it's still disrupting. Like, I get what you're saying. Okay, drug deals in Elmo, but also families that might have wanted to walk in that area, people that might have wanted to take pictures in that area.
Times Square's like 3 blocks.
Now they got to listen to you guys pray out loud. Like, and this is what I'm trying to say.
20 minutes?
It's still disrupting, man.
Okay, but there's still disrupting. Parades happen all the time.
And the thing that kills me is like, y'all could just pray in the mosque. Pray in the mosque. Like, why does everyone have to? We do
pray in the mosque too.
Yeah, but pray in the mosque. Just pray in the mosque only. Like, why do you guys got to pray out loud, like out in front of everybody?
I mean, it's a display of culture. And like, what about the Hare Krishna? Every park in New York City, if you go to Washington Square Park, Central Park, you'll see all these bald white people when they have the monk outfits on. They're like, Hare Krishna, banging the drum. I see that every single day. In the train stations, in the park, they do it loudly in public. Look, it's not a big deal. I just see them. I'm like, hey, what's going on? And they're like, hey, and they offer you a book.
And you're used to it because you're like in New York City, you're around these all the time. Like, my thing is I think once your worship starts to get to a point where you're disrupting other people, I think that's a problem, right? Especially
nobody complained.
They don't complain because they don't want to be called. This is a very, bro. You got to remember, no one's going to complain because this is a controversial take. Like, not a lot of people are willing to sit there and say, bro, you probably shouldn't be praying. And I get attacked for it as a Muslim guy. I can only imagine someone that's not Muslim saying like, getting attacked, being called Islamophobic.
How is it disrupting?
Most people are scared.
It's a public space. Like, so you can do that. You could pray. So look, public spaces, you can play your phone speaker. You can do drug deals. You can. Sure. What about, is the gorilla who takes up space? Is he disrupting people from walking on that side of the sidewalk? Like, I don't understand this.
I don't think it's appropriate as 1 to 2% of the population to be openly praying.
1% of the population is
what Muslims are about 1.5 to 2% of the population in America.
Minority. When people say like there's an Islamic takeover,
no, that's a lie. That's a scam. I agree with you. There's not a Muslim takeover. It's really a Jewish takeover because they're a minority. We don't have the same representation in government. Whatever. What I'm saying is, as a guest, right? Because we are guests here. What
does that mean? We're guests.
We're guests. This is not a Muslim country. Oh,
then you could make an argument that's a Jewish country if they control 98% of the population.
Oh my God, this guy.
But I mean, it's a freedom of religion country.
Yeah.
It's a secular country.
Okay.
What do you mean we're guests? I'm a citizen here. I'm not a guest. No. Hold on. I'm not a guest. I have a passport. I was born here.
Of course.
I have my birth certificate.
What I'm saying,
it's my
Islamic faith. Of course, it's your country. But what I'm saying is that the Islamic faith is not a part of the American infrastructure.
Neither is Christianity.
This country was founded by Christians.
But it's not part of the American doctrine.
The people that founded this country are Christians.
It's not in the doctrine. Just because
the separation of church and state was put in place so that either would not corrupt each other, but it's still a Christian country founded by Christian people, right? Because you can make the argument.
It's not.
You can make the argument like Syria wasn't a Muslim country, isn't a Muslim country because Bashar al-Assad was a secularist, or Saddam Hussein was a secularist. It's still a Muslim country majority, and they're going to play that. Then
I'll say that. Yeah, it's a Christian majority country, but it's not a Christian country by definition.
I think this is a Christian country,
but there's no paperwork or any like. It's not in the Constitution.
It was found. It's not. They have got it.
Even when you pledge allegiance as an American, I grew up
pledge allegiance saying, but God, the God is mentioned in the.
Do you say Jesus?
They believe. You say God.
You don't say Jesus.
You say God. You don't have to say Jesus because
you don't say the Holy Spirit.
To them, God and Jesus are synonymous. Synonymous.
Yes and no. Actually, if you talk to a Christian,
it depends on who you talk to. Yes.
Yeah, being honest, bro.
They look at God and Jesus as the same. Like, because he's the Son of God. So
he's also God's only begotten Son. So they are separate entities.
It depends on who you look at. Who you're asking.
That's a different conversation.
Yeah.
But the reason that this is in God we trust is because it's the most universal statement.
Yes, but the point I'm trying to make is that regardless, this country was founded by Christians. They reserve the right to run the country however they want. And if they do want to play church, I take it a step further. If they want to play the church bells, I think they can because this is a Christian country. Just like in a Muslim country, if they want to play that dance 10 times a day, you got to shut up and take it.
Okay, so if it's a Christian country, then why do you not support Israel? Doesn't the Bible for evangelical Christians say God blesses those who bless the state of Israel?
Because we know that definition, we know that evangelicals is cap.
Okay, well, I mean, it was founded by Protestant Christians. That's what Protestants believe. If you're following your logic that you want to be a patriot and a nationalist, then you should support Israel.
Actually, Protestants don't really fuck with what's his name? The Jews and Their Lies by who wrote he was the head of he was the founder of Protestantism. Something Luther.
Martin Luther?
No, I think it was Martin Luther. Yeah, dude. Only evangelical Christians like observe Israel as like real. Everyone else, like all real niggas, Christians, like Catholics, Orthodox Christians.
What do Protestants think?
They don't fuck with Jews either.
They don't say God bless the state of Israel.
No, that's just evangelical retards.
Okay, so what?
And Schofield Bible reader niggas. But most Christians are that aren't retarded, right? And remember, this is just American Christians. Christians all over the place don't fuck. If you look at Eastern Europe, they're all super anti-Semitic. They're real niggas.
Okay, so wait, so
Orthodox Christians are super anti-Semitic. Shout out to them.
Yeah, but like
they don't fuck with the Jews. Let me just say that because anti-Semitism is a fake word.
But it's your mentality approaching thinking that we're guests here.
Yeah, I think we're guests here. That is.
Dude, Myron, we were born here.
No, the Islamic faith and the religion of Islam. You are a guest as a Muslim in the United States.
I'm not a guest in my home,
bro. We are guests here.
We are guests here.
We were born here. Yes, but our religion our religion.
So now your faith makes you a guest.
Yes, if you're going to open, yes, to a degree, yes.
To a degree, or
yeah, because obviously everything is like nuanced, like nothing is absolute. But like the point I'm trying to make is that the Islamic faith, as this is not a Muslim country, so therefore,
so what about Catholics? Are Catholics guests because it was founded by Protestants?
I would say they're closer to.
So they're still guests.
I would say they're because here's the thing with Catholicism, Christianity, all of it, it's all kind of one. I look at them all as the same. Like they all believe in Jesus. They all believe in Jesus.
They disagree with each other, of course, fundamentally.
But I would say
a lot of them say that each other are.
If they believe in Christ, they're a Christian to a degree. What denomination isn't really as relevant is if they believe in Jesus as their Lord and Savior, that makes them a Christian.
The Protestants criticize the Catholics for praying to Mary.
See, that's arguments within themselves. But in general, they're all Christians because they all believe in Jesus. There's different.
Yeah,
like,
but by your
Muslims,
logic,
for example, right? There's Sunnis and there's Shia. But we don't look at them differently with our faith. Honestly, we really don't. They pray in the same mosque. They do some funny shit praying on rocks.
That's not all true.
But they pray in the same mosque in general.
Sometimes there's some Shia mosques, but
they can pray alongside.
By your logic,
they're not considered kuffars. They're not considered kafirs. They're just misguided.
By your logic, then only Protestant Christians should be the non-guests in America if it was founded by Protestant Christians.
No, because they're all Christians. I look at them all as Christians. Denominations. This is literally why the whole separation of church and state was a thing, was to avoid that problem, fights between themselves. So they literally instructed that in place to deal with that very problem you're talking about, which is like the different sects in Christianity. Okay. That's why that's why the separation of church and state was instilled, was to keep Baptists, Protestants, Catholics, and all these other guys from fighting each other, because this is the problem that they had in England with the Catholic Church and everything else.
So you believe we're guests in our own country?
I believe as Muslims, we are guests in America, yes, because America is not a Muslim country like Saudi Arabia, like Egypt, like Sudan, like UAE, like Qatar. These are Muslim countries. When we go there, we respect and we don't say a word. When we were in Dubai, we had jalabiyas on. I spoke Arabic whenever I had a chance, right? We assimilated. We respected that culture, right? As even the first time before you reverted, we respected that culture because we understood we are guests there. I think Muslims need to exercise the same thing in the United States.
Yeah, I know, because we're literally visiting Dubai. Yeah, I was born here. Like, it doesn't.
Yeah, but the Islamic faith, we're American citizens, but the Islamic faith is not. There's
nothing. I mean, you're just making up American. Like,
we're 1% of the population. That in itself proves that this is not a Muslim country.
You can single out anybody and say that they're a minority to some extent. It's not. You don't need to describe somebody just by their faith. You could say that your skin color is, or where you're from, or.
But when we're talking about
people have glasses.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. Hindus, Jews, Muslims. We're all guests in America, being honest. We all are. I'm not just saying this is as Muslims we're guests. I think.
What about minorities? Are minorities guests in America?
Like, what do you mean minorities? Like blacks and shit like that? Or
like anybody not
Asians?
White? Anybody not white?
Yeah, I mean, I would say, yeah.
We're also guests.
Yeah. White people built and founded this country, bro. We're all guests here.
Okay, so America is entitled to white Christians only. They're the only non-guests here. So you have to be founders. To be a true American, you need to be a white Christian.
I never said that. I never.
You said everyone else is not a guest.
We are Americans, but we are guests here. Because we did not found this country. We're Americans, but like we're not the, I guess, original Americans.
Okay, so what about Europeans, like people with second-generation Europeans who came here?
Well, I'm talking about like the people here that like their family's been here for generations, fought in the Revolutionary Wars, whatever.
Okay, so if I'm a white guy and my parents immigrated here after World War II, and I'm a white Christian, and my parents are from Germany, all right?
And you came here after World War II.
Yeah, am I a guest?
I would say from a framer's perspective, if you came like you were here in the 1700s, like if you have lineage back to like the colonial individuals.
What is that, like 5% of the country?
Probably not as much, yeah. I mean, probably
so
not.
Everyone's a guest here?
A lot, yeah.
So whose country is it? It's just those 5% of people?
I would say America is a white majority Christian country, and we are guests here. Yeah, that's what I would say.
So 95% of people here are guests.
Yeah, dude. Nowadays, yeah, with the 95% immigration, yeah, you're right. Yeah,
95% of people.
A lot of them, yeah, a lot of them are guests.
Okay, so then,
and this is why we have a lot of the problems we have, because we have all these people coming in, bringing their cultures, not assimilating, not learning language. Like New York City, I'll give you an example. New York City is a perfect example. New York City is the definition of a melting pot. You got people from the Caribbean, from Africa.
It's always been that way.
That's
since like the 40s predominantly.
It's been, yeah, but
even before that, it's always been
even more so now.
With Ellis Island, the turn of the century, it's always
of course, and it's always the Statue of Liberty. Give us your week and whatever, cool, whatever. But the point I'm trying to make is like New York City is a perfect example of like why this mass multiculturalism doesn't work a lot of the time. Like I think New York City is a failed city.
It's really safe. This is the least amount of crime we've had in a while.
Bro, New York City,
summer,
okay, that's fine. But
how is it a failed city? It's a great city.
It's a failed city, bro.
But based on what
I think it's a failed city. Crime metrics, dirtiness, cost of living has been going through the roof as the decades pass. I think New York City is a failed city, bro. And I think,
so when was New York City?
And if it went out for its historic and premier position as a major city in the United States, it would be degraded even further.
So when was New York not failed? In the 70s, there were prostitutes all over Times Square. Drugs were worse. Crime was worse. Giuliani did fix a lot of that stuff.
Giuliani did fix a lot. The 90s was actually the most. 1990 was the most murders.
Okay, the mafia was running it in the 50s. Mm-hmm. So it was failed then.
I think it was better than it is now. Yeah.
Okay.
I think it was better than,